I dance because it is a way to express myself that I can't put into words. When I'm dancing, I just let go of everything and I just do it. And it's just so fun. We are at the Ukrainian Park for a dance camp. Basically, we dance 3 hours a day. It's pretty intense at first. We do lots of across the floors, like turning and jumps and kicks and stuff. And then we work on our dances the rest of the time.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
You do have to have a certain amount of love and passion for this particular style of dance to go far in it, because if you don't, you're not fully committed and you won't go as far as somebody who is so passionate about it that they would do absolutely anything. I definitely want to get into Rusalka. Like, it's one of my biggest dreams, honestly. I think it's gonna take so much dedication and hard work, like more than I've ever put into anything in my entire life. I just want to dance with them.
In 1925, in December, Vasily Avramenko came to Canada, landed in Halifax. Within a couple of months, he was in Toronto. He went quickly to Montreal. He went quickly to other places. He went quickly to Winnipeg. And everywhere he went, he set up dance schools. Avramenko needed to make some money, so he'd call people together and say 25 cents each and I'll teach you some dances. And lots of people wanted that. So his senior students would come and stay a little bit longer and teach these dances. His biggest schools were in Winnipeg. When they performed, they had lots of audience members. And for the first 30 or 40 years, that was kind of the normal base of Ukrainian dance in Canada. And one of the very first groups that was ever formed and consolidated exactly in this hot, hot action moment was Rusalka in Winnipeg.
Peter Hladun, Rusalka's founder, was a disciple of Vasily Avramenko, the father of Ukrainian dance in Canada. Peter loved Ukrainian culture and witnessed how Avramenko's influence on the performing arts gained popularity among those in the Ukrainian community. Peter's love for dance and desire to perpetuate the culture led him to form a dance troupe in October of 1962. Peter hand-selected 12 girls and 12 boys from the Ukrainian National Federation School of Dance, under the direction of Diane Grabinsky.
Peter was very interested in dance, and he wanted to give young people the opportunity to participate in their culture. His daughter, Donna, was part of the original group of dancers, and it was his love of Ukrainian dance that made him want to do that.
He was looking at what had been happening in Hamilton and in Edmonton and wanting to be a dance troupe as strong and as good as those groups were.
And he arranged to have a woman named Joanne Sienkiewicz. She became the first instructor and choreographer. One of the fellows that I had been friends with and danced with again earlier, a fellow named Don Stebnicki, assisted with choreography and instruction after the first couple of years. People like Lucia Pavlichenko from Saskatoon, she had her dance group, we would bring her in. A fellow named Jerry Clune from St. Catharines, brought him in. And weren't afraid at all to expose the group to different styles of dance. And that's how we grew.
Looking for males was always a concern, and of course, you know, you were always outnumbered by the girls in the group, so that was one of the attraction for getting some of your male friends to come in and join. You know, like the girls are beautiful in the group, and there's like 2 girls for every guy, like, you know. So honestly, we did, I think a lot of dancers did come in, male dancers did come in, for a passion for dancing and, you know, and meeting girls and so on. So it was a natural kind of thing.
I started dancing here at the hall, and we lived just really down the street when I was growing up. We moved when I was about 6, but this is where it was all happening, was at the UNIF hall. But we were young, we were younger, so you didn't get into all of the dances right away. I think I was just 16 at the time, and it was just fun after that for the longest time.
We were excited and wondered, what would happen. We had no clue that it would grow into the amazing troupe that it has.
The troupe's performances were first in the Winnipeg area and primarily for Ukrainian audiences. The group's very first concert was at the renowned Pantages Playhouse. Then performing at events such as Canada's National Ukrainian Festival in Dauphin. One specific performance on Canada Day in Gimli, Rusalka caught the eye of Court of Queen's Bench judge Ben Huack.
They were quite good, I thought. In my mind, they exhibited quite a talent for Ukrainian dance, and I was quite impressed with that. And I thought it's something that I would like to get involved in, and I'm sure they might have needed some help. And I thought in order to keep their interest up, maybe a good thing would be to see if we can get them to perform in different venues, whether it be different venues here in Winnipeg or outside of Winnipeg, and for that matter, beyond.
Ben Huack's connections in the community and abroad would help propel the group onto the world stage. Rusalka first performed internationally at the Mundial Festival in Guadalajara, Mexico in 1972, and in subsequent years to England, Scotland, and Italy, where they performed at the International Festival of Youth Orchestras and Performing Arts. The troupe had the honor of performing for Prince Charles at Manitoba's Government House in November of 1972. The group toured and performed in Newfoundland in 1971, Nova Scotia in 1975, and for the Montreal Olympics in 1976. One of the group's most memorable and influential tours was in 1979, when they were the first North American Ukrainian dance group to perform in Ukraine.
First trip ever, which was exciting for us, was to Selkirk, Manitoba on a bus. And here we are in '79, flying across the Iron Curtain and into Russia, and then from Moscow to Kyiv. We're coming from a democratic country where you have all the freedoms you possibly want. And the first thing they're doing is when we check into the hotel in Kyiv is they're collecting our passports. And we were, I know, constantly kind of like, what? They took our passports away? They're monitoring us. They know when we go to sleep, when we get up. When we did arrive at the hotel and checked in, and all these relatives just started pouring out of the woodwork, like, where? Like, all of a sudden. And of course, nobody knew what the relative looked like. You would do the hugging and the kissing and the exchanging of gifts outside the hotel. And then you would find out about a half hour later, okay, those weren't my relatives. They were so-and-so's relatives. There was this exchange. It was comical.
Performing in front of them in Ukraine, under the Soviet regime was just remarkable. I was so excited to be on the stage as a Rusalka dancer. There was so much pride and excitement being on that stage because you had your friends on that stage, family on that stage. Just real pride being able to do that.
We went to Ukraine, and of course, they've seen the best in Ukraine. But when they saw this group, they couldn't believe that a group from Canada could come with this kind of performance. And they were quite taken by it.
The group also had the opportunity to study with the Rusalka Ukrainian Dance Ensemble of Kyiv. The knowledge gained from this professional group proved invaluable to Rusalka, and the tour became a benchmark in their development. Other tours included a command performance for Pope John Paul II at his summer residence outside of Rome at Castel Gandolfo in 1982, and also performed for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II during a televised concert at the Winnipeg Arena in 1984. In 1986, Rusalka embarked on an ambitious and highly successful tour of Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Thailand, where they performed for the Thai royal family.
I think Rusalka left its mark on many, many of the places that we went to. It I think, stuck in the memories of those people in the audience who saw the group perform and formed certain good opinions of them.
I always wanted to be here. This is where I wanted to be. Rusalka was it. It was the best. Wanted to be one of the best. My mom was one of the original dancers in 1962. I'm the only one that continued dancing out of my sister and my brother and myself. I don't know, I kind of felt that I needed to carry that tradition on. Danced until I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter in 1999. And then I just can't seem to stay away. I keep coming back.
When I was, I think about 22, I was just looking in the paper and there was an ad Rusalka was doing open auditions, and I really had no idea who Rusalka was. It was just a Ukrainian dance group, and I thought, I want to Ukrainian dance again. And I came and I tried out. There was a lot of people here. The hall was full of people, and a lot of people trying out, and got my number, put it on my shirt, and away we went, and I don't know, it was still in me.
When I started dancing at St. Michael's Church, we had two instructors, and they were both from Rusalka. And I remember I would just look up to them, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a Rusalka dancer. And then from there, I just danced at various dance groups, and then I auditioned for Rusalka.
For as long as I can remember, I wanted to be a Rusalka dancer. The first time I saw them on stage was the 40th anniversary, and I remember standing backstage and knowing that that's what I wanted to do. So it would have been in about 2003, I auditioned for the first time young, and I was informed that I had some things to work on, which was what I wanted to hear. So I went away from the floor and I worked on them. I took some ballet classes. I continued to dance at the UNF School of Dance. And then in 2005, I auditioned and I got in.
I first started dancing when I was 4 years old. My mother took me to a ballet lesson. A few years later, she wanted me to Ukrainian dance, and I went kicking and screaming because I didn't know anyone, and I was really afraid that I would never have any friends. One of my first instructors had danced with Rusalka, and I looked up to her a lot. And so I knew that as soon as I was old enough, I would dance here.
Like, since we were little, we've always been around the Rusalka community, so like for our whole lives, we've just, I don't know, we've done a lot of things with Rusalka. It's always been a part of our family.
Or even just watching them in a show. I mean, that's how you kind of get involved as well. You're like watching the dancers being like, oh, I want to be like them one day, right?
For me, it must have been, I would have been about 12, 13, 14 years old, watching the big guys up on stage. And at the time, it was the Rusalka. There was everybody else and there was the Rusalka. That was the group that I wanted to watch, that was the group I wanted to be a part of. Guys could do split jumps, guys could do shupa-ke, guys could do backflips, and all kinds of crazy things that I wouldn't even have thought to try. By the time I was 16, it wasn't even a question. It wasn't will I join Rusalka, it was when. It was how soon can I try out? Of course, by the time I was 16, I was super nervous. I was like, I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. And that's where my dad came in the picture and said, no, I've already called them. You're going to that tryout.
I'm terrified. I'm really nervous. Well, I got some big shoes to fill. And I'm just really crossing my fingers that I can get in and make my family proud. I've been looking forward to this since the day I was born, probably. Ever since I started dancing, I knew that this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be here. This is where my parents met, and if they hadn't been here dancing together, then I wouldn't be here auditioning today. This is a new audition experience for me. I've done quite a few auditions in the past, but they've all mostly been in a group setting, so I've never done an audition by myself. So I honestly have no idea what to expect. I'm just hoping that I can make my mark.
Good evening, Oksana.
Hi.
Show for me, please, Grand Batman. Ariana as well will show for you. It will be 4-time side. Yeah? Just look first time, please. Ariana, show, please. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8. And together now. Arms is down, together with arm. 1 and chin side. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Oksana, show please for me a small combination, short combination. Да? It will be веревочка, да? Веревочка with a pause 2 times and after 4 times веревочка. Arms, E1, E2, E1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, E1, 2, 3. And show for me, please, Chenet. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you.
Thank you for auditioning. We'll let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, good girl.
The artistic director is in charge of the entire artistic vision of the ensemble, and as well as the quality of the performance, the accuracy of the regional work, and everything like that. Basically any artistic output, including music, costumes, choreography. So that is the role of the artistic director. I make sure I bring in choreographers, Peter Paulishin, for example, from down in the States, the Kansas City Ballet, and we've been working with instructors from RWB, Jaime Vargas, Sasha Kamayunov, and many others over the years. So my job is to make sure that the dancers are getting the best instruction possible from professionals all around the world.
Vitaly came in to teach us a new buko dance, and that was a Friday night, Saturday all day, and then Sunday afternoon workshop, and it's exhausting for us, and also mentally exhausting, physically and mentally, but he's wonderful. He's a wonderful instructor and has some really cool and interesting choreography, and it's one of the things that's cool about Rusalka. All of our pieces of choreography are from different people, and I think that's one of the things that makes Rusalka unique.
For the harvest dance, okay, so the duduk is going to have the red ribbon around it, but not all of the wheat sheaths are going to be able to go in. I was brought in to teach a piece of choreography about the prairies, about coming to the prairies and that connection. And this particular dance is a harvest dance that we did back in 1993. It was a suite where there was 4 dances, one representing each season. So this was the fall or the autumn dance. And they probably thought, who can we think of that was there that would remember it or have a video that would be able to teach it? And they approached me and I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll come and teach it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 2, left, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rusalka, we base ourselves on the 3 A's: ability, attitude, and attendance. Ability includes everything from pointed toes, flexed toes, arabesque, porter bras, all your different arm positions, all your different foot positions, your regional work, your bar work, what your flexibility is. It's wide gamut, and it encompasses any type of Ukrainian dancing.
You definitely need to have patience, because you might see other dancers doing things you want to do, especially if you just start Rusalka. And you need to know that it takes time to get to that point, and you need to listen to the instructors and do what they tell you to do. Because I think the worst thing a dancer can do is come in here and think that they know everything or aren't willing to change what they're doing. Number one, when you guys come out doing hopak right away, I want to see you projecting. I don't want you like this, but you know what the concert hall looks like. Who has not danced in the concert hall? Only a few people. So imagine if you have to be projecting up there. The rest of you know. The lights are in your face and you can see everything. It's awesome. So number one, from now on, that's what I want you to be thinking of. I don't want to mess up your head too much with too many details right off the bat, but that's number one. Number two, right off the bat, posture. I was watching the 50th, and that's one thing that will make you guys look better, like Shumka, like Viersky, closer to those types of groups. Because right now, you know, it looks nice and you're dancing, but really long necks every time, strong arms. Especially the guys, just really get there. Don't ever let it flop around like that. That's not what it should look like. If you come in with an open mind, the instructors here are great. They'll work hard with you. The other dancers will give you good advice. You have to listen to that, and it works, and you can get better and better. You will be amazed at the levels you can achieve if you just go out of your comfort zone a little bit. You just have to keep working hard and be patient. It does take time. It can take a year. It's your muscles, too, that you're working. It's not just like you're learning to do one little thing and you can practice it and the next day you've got it. Your muscles have to get better and better and stronger, and you have to work them a certain way. So it can take months and years to become the dancer you want to become.
Dance is not just all show, all fluff. It's supposed to tell a story. It's supposed to convey an emotion. It's supposed to take people up to the mountain and then way back down again. This dance we're learning here is a perfect example of Ukrainian choreography. It's everything coming together. Okay, so boys and girls start off separately, then they join together, then the girls show what they can do, the boys show what they can do for the girls, and then they finish off in just a flurry, a frenzy of energy, costumes, color. So that's typically your general layout for a dance. I mean, there's others. There's lyricals, there's your traditional hopak, there's privit, which is meant to show the whole of Ukraine, multi-regional generally, shows the different styles and the different peoples of Ukraine, from the steppes to the mountains, down to the Black Sea.
Ukrainian dancing in general is very fast-paced, high energy. It's go, 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 go. And it's usually for 3 to 7 minutes long at a time, but it's fast. And it looks like they're just moving along a stage, but it's a far distance to run. So the stamina is definitely a big part of Ukrainian dancing. When you're performing a dance 100%, you're putting everything into it, and that feels different than just marking it. So at this point, they're probably more tired than they've ever been because they're putting 100% of their energy into it. And not only that, they're getting only a couple-minute break in between at this point, so they're running a dance with a little break, another dance with a break. So it's definitely hard on their bodies.
Physical toll on a dancer's body is high. It you know, the jumping and the pounding and the landing and twisting, and you know, there's a lot of dancers that are in a constant state of hurt.
I mean, you could probably ask anyone who danced and they can probably ramble off a long list of injuries that they've had over their career, and people who haven't danced in years will tell you things that ache when the temperature is a certain way or if it's gonna rain.
Luckily, we have, you know, an alumni dancer who is a doctor, so he gets a lot of visits from Rusalka. It's a good thing he's a patient man.
A show like we did with the WSO, it involves a lot of people. The first thing you need to come up with is you need a concept for the show. Then you need to figure out who's going to be in the show. How many dances are we doing in the show? Do we have enough for costume changes? Do you have enough dancers that you could run 5, 6 numbers consecutively? We had to get a lot of music arranged because we only had recordings. We didn't have sheet music.
We have to get that correct sound and that quality of rhythm and everything like that. Most of our music is a 12-piece or a 15-piece orchestra, and it has a lot of ethnic instruments in it.
Then you need to get a lighting designer, stage manager, and now you have to start meeting with them regularly to start putting together how the lighting is gonna work, what are the colors, the design, audio visual. It's definitely a process, and it takes months and months of planning ahead of time to just kind of get to that point where you even start working on it.
It's starting to work on dances, clean them, set them, and it's day in, day out. It's weekend workshops on top of the 6 hours a week, Tuesday and Thursday night. It's a big commitment. It really does take over a portion of your life for an amount of time.
To come here twice a week, 3 hours a day, and plus extra practice it's a lot of time and commitment. And I was one of the few people that I think had their own business at the time. And on top of that, I was one of the first people to get married and one of the first people to have kids. And I mean, I brought my kids to dancing. They were since they were 2 years old, and I did that for years.
You know, it's a hard balance to balance school, work, relationships outside of dancing, performances, practices. But somehow everybody does it. And you don't realize until looking back how you manage to squeeze it all in.
The amazing thing about Rusalka is that it's an amateur ensemble. It's not a professional group in that we're being paid. All of us are committing our time and our effort to be here and to do as much as we can to prepare for these shows. And the biggest chunk is the time commitment for all of us. I mean, many of us are students or young professionals out in the community that have other, agreements and places to be, but at the same time, all of us are brought here to make sure we're living out our heritage.
People in that row, the 2 guys and the 2 girls, I remember watching the person in front of me so that my hand was exactly in line where their hand was, and it should look exactly the same. Those kind of things are easy to do. That's all you're doing there, and you're sticking it. So someone's hand shouldn't be here or someone here. You should be exactly the same. So little things about looking exactly the same at this point would really, really help. There's lots of lines in Hopak, and I noticed for some reason this dance compared to other ones, the lines are a little bit crooked. I noticed all the other dances you were doing today were actually really, really good with the lines. I don't know if you're getting tired or thinking about something else, but just all those finales, all those combinations, you're always in lines, lines, lines. Be sure you're right behind that person.
Hopak, that 3rd row, you guys are right on top of the 2nd row for first finale. Okay, spread it out. Okay, you should have a panel and a half per row. Okay, we have 7 panels, panel and a half per row. So line, mid panel. Okay, gives yourselves room. Okay, 'cause otherwise it starts getting really scrunchy, and regardless of whether your lines are bang on, it still just doesn't look good when you guys are all bunched up. Okay, so just really be aware of that. Tomorrow's tech is going to be full out for all the pieces. The floor will be our floor, so that's not going to be an issue. Okay, but the lighting and everything like that will be distracting. So just be aware of that, and you have to start getting into that mentality. You're at the concert hall. Okay, like Nikki said, short. Okay, grow a couple inches. Okay.
You could have lots of stops.
I'm here and I'm here.
Depending on
exactly
how the music goes.
Just quick comment to you, Stefan. If you can just corral the younger guys and everybody, make sure they have their props ready before we start.
I know they don't listen to me.
You're gonna have to them, but I need you guys to physically go,
as a team,
know
let's
where
get
your
everyone
props
together.
are, know where your hats are.
I've already found 2 or 3 things that I can do better.
Yeah. See, but you're thinking about it. They're talking about where's the second after party.
Do this.
This has to be a little bit shorter. It's a little long. I'm sure if you tie it a little shorter. Think about it going down.
Something weird is happening with mine.
I've never danced at the concert hall before, and never danced with a semi-pro group before. So it's exciting at the same time, but mostly nerve-wracking.
While I have it over here? Yeah.
I have the read and I
I'm just getting a little bit nervous. That's all. There's a lot at stake here. It's a big opportunity, and we're also representing 125 years of Ukrainians in Canada. It's not just about Rusalka, it's about so much more.
Deep inside every single one of the dancers is a passion for their culture. Not everyone has the ability to phrase it into words, so dancing is probably the best way to sum that up for all of us. And I mean, the evidence shows on the dance floor. We all get together as a family. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be dancing with my immediate family, but everyone here, I'd say, becomes a family at the end of the day.
Joining this group was the best decision that I ever made in my entire life. Just the emotional connection to your heritage is so important, and I'm so glad I can somehow be a part of it through dance, through that artistry. And I don't know what's next for me, but definitely still would love to be involved with the dance group in any way, shape, or form possible, because this has been a huge part of my life. My parents met in this group, and my boyfriend is in this group, so it's been a wonderful 10 years, and hopefully a few more great experiences to come yet ahead.
Couple things to remember for you guys. Okay, you guys are a group. Okay, this is the dance group. Okay, it's not the board. It's not the instructor. It's not the advisory council or foundation or whatever's going on behind the scenes. Okay, it's here. Okay, it's what you guys put on stage. It's what you guys bring with you to every rehearsal. Okay, and that's what makes this group. Okay, that's what makes this group special and separates it from some of the professional ensembles that you see, like Virsky and all these that come out there and they just perform it meticulously, but they lack that little bit of a personal touch. Okay, soul. Okay, that's a good word. Okay, so this is what this group is known for. Okay, bringing that culture out of your body and sharing it with an audience.
Remember, these are some of the best years. These are the memories that we'll have in those slideshows at the 75th anniversary. There'll be pictures from tonight. So when you go out there, dance your hearts out, leave every bit of yourselves on that floor, and let's kill it.
Budma! Hey! Budma! Hey! Budma! Hey, hey, hey!
Throughout the evening, the group would perform numerous dances from their repertoire. In between performances, the backstage was a flurry of activity. Costume changes, hair and makeup fixes, and prop repairs. Many times, the dancers would only have mere minutes to completely change their wardrobe and appearance for the next number.
I think any dancer knows what I'm talking about and any artist in that respect and whatever they're doing gets that same feeling of excitement when, a finished piece, what the look is of a finished piece, it's the same thing, you're dancing and, while you're doing it, it's exciting and then you're done and the audience is clapping and you feel like that finished piece was something spectacular and to be part of that is bigger than you and it feels great.
Impressed. I mean, there's always little fine-tuning things you can say, but hey, that was fantastic. That was a great show.
All right, and watching this camera again, here we go, and excellent. You got it.
It takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of passion, it takes a lot of determination, and it takes a lot of heart to be a Rusalka dancer.
Passion to dance. You want to dance.
Yeah,
you have the
definitely.
passion to become better and better and be like the top Ukrainian dance group. That's why I dance. I absolutely love it. And I want to do it because I want to show the young ones how fun it is and how proud you are to dance and represent your culture.
Dancing with people who share similar beliefs as you and share the same love for their culture definitely just connects us together, and it just is a really great feeling.
This has to continue. We have to continue this culture and being able to get it out into the world. I'm so proud that my kids are interested and they want to continue and carry this tradition on.
I would want future dancers to experience some of the things that I experienced when I had a whole world exposed to me. I mean, you got to picture the sons and daughters of immigrants living in the North End, and this was their world. The 935 Main Street, UNF, was our world. And then opportunities come along, the right people come along, and all of a sudden, there's a whole world that's exposed to you. And you're traveling and finding out what the world is all about, and meeting people. And it's true what they say, that music and there are no barriers amongst people, no matter what culture it is. Music and dance brings people together.
Everybody who's here is here because they want to be here, because they want to share that with the audience. They want to tell a story. And they want the audience to understand what that story is about who we are and what we do. And I think that is why we choose to be here, is because we're all storytellers. And the fact that we share that and the passion, I think the passion is the heart and soul of Rusalka. The passion that we feel for our culture and the way that we are able to express it on stage. This is our expression. This is how we express our love for who we are. And I think that's what the heart and soul is, that we share that. And that's what keeps this ensemble together, is that it's there and we all want to experience it together.
I want to see the dancers that are dancing now turn into the best dancers they can be. And I want to have that so the future Rusalka dancers that don't know that they're going to be Rusalka dancers yet, our kids and the generation that's coming up after us, they have something to go to.
My hopes and aspirations for the group are that they continue. It would be absolutely wonderful for them to just continue for as long as young people want to dance.